Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. I got treatment in a hyperbaric chamber this morning, Tony. You ever been in one of those?
Tony Kornheiser, I try to avoid things that remind me of coffins.
Well, it's glass or plastic. It's clear. Let me put it that way. So you don't feel like you're in an MRI machine. I didn't feel claustrophobic. Right. It felt fine. It felt like Michael Jackson, except no chimp and no glove.
That's not a cold tub, though, right? That's not a cold tub.
No. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing any cold tub.
Oh. All right. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Panthers are maneuvering for a third straight Stanley Cup. A good night for aces. And Taylor Twellman joins us to break down tonight's Gold Cup semi between the United States and Guatemala. But we begin today with reports by The Athletic and ESPN that Mike Brown is expected to be the next head coach of the Knicks. Brown has coached 4 different NBA teams. 2 of them were Cleveland. His tenure is separated by 3 seasons. Brown was Coach of the Year in Cleveland in 2009, Coach of the Year in Sacramento in 2023, and of course, fired by both teams as well as the Lakers. Wilbon, how should the Knicks feel if they end up with Mike Brown?
Well, Tony, you talk about professional coaches in the world. Mike Brown has a resume that glitters. First of all, he's done difficult things nobody wants to do, like follow a legend. Hello, Phil Jackson. He's coached big stars, the biggest of stars, Kobe, LeBron, Steph Curry, and all the people that they may have teamed with at some point in time. He coached them. He's coached under Pop. He was on the bench, not just on the bench with Steve Kerr, but when Steve Kerr had those back issues, right? And you had coaches Walton and Brown had to do real coaching. They had to really work and gain the confidence of those people. There's nothing on Mike Brown's resume. And if you're going to talk about replacing Tibbs, who we all know is one of the great defensive coaches in the last 25 years in the NBA, Mike Brown has been that level of defensive coach, but he's also had the #1 offense. And so you say, okay, what are we getting maybe that's different? And maybe there are similarities to Tibbs, and those may be good, but there is a lighter touch. He's maybe more collaborative than Tibbs has been known to be. So, it may not be the guy that you had up in lights that you wanted on the marquee first, but Mike Brown's a hell of a coach for a long time in the NBA.
I love the wording of the question. The wording of the question is, how should the Knicks feel if they end up with Mike Brown? Like he's a consolation prize. Like you don't get the all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, but let's give you a gift card. Mike Brown's record in regular season games in the NBA is .454 and .304. He wins at a percentage of 59.9%. His record in the playoffs is 50-40. He wins more than he loses. He took LeBron James to the finals in Cleveland, and he took Sacramento to the playoffs when they hadn't been there in 17 years. Now, he gets fired because everybody gets fired. First prize is the Cadillac, and second prize is the steak knives, and third prize is you're fired. But he's a professional coach, and he's being hired, if it happens, by a management that is amateurish. Every single thing the Knicks have done, including firing Tom Thibodeau, has made them look worse. Day by day, worse. So he is, Mike, and I'll get out of here on this, Mike Brown is on some level better than the Knicks deserve right now. I'm done.
Coming from a longtime Knicks fan observer, Tony, that you should get the last word on that, and you will. Because we're going to move now to the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs for the Panthers, who are somehow keeping the band together. In the last few days, the Panthers have agreed to extensions with Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, and Aaron Ekblad, defying a history that's seen top teams have to part with stars due to cap constraints. Tony, how realistic is it to you right now that the Panthers will win a 3rd straight cup?
So you are telling me that they kept all their important free agents. And I assume they still have Kachuk, and I assume they still have Bobrovsky. And they have now been to the Stanley Cup final 3 years in a row. And 2 years in a row they won it, and it was easier this year than last year, because this year took them 6 games, and last year took them 7 games against the same opponent. And now you're asking me, does this upgrade their chances of winning again? And I would say sure, because unless Gretzky and Lemieux and Orr and Hull are walking through that door, I'm going to take Florida. And then, Mike, And then if they win again, that's a long way from winning, but if they win again, then we use the word dynasty. Because 3 in a row is a big deal. Gretzky's Oilers did not win 3 in a row. The Penguins with Lemieux and Yager and later Crosby, they did not win 3 in a row. The Canadiens won 5 in a row, I believe, in the late 50s. They won 4 in a row in the late 70s. The Islanders won 4 in a row in the early 80s. But if they come back, if Florida comes back and they make it again for 4 in a row and win it again for 3 in a row, that's a big deal.
It is, Tony, but I'll take the field, and I want to get to the history of what they've done. And you can do this in Florida because there's some incentive. In places that I'm going to name in a second, like California and Illinois and Pennsylvania, there's something called state taxes. And you might not feel as enriched when you sign that deal in those states as you feel in Florida. But I'm going to mention some teams now. The Blackhawks, Penguins, Kings. Well, and Tampa does have that in Florida. But those first 3, they won a couple, Tony. The Blackhawks won 3. And then I would look up on opening night when they're raising the flag to the roof of the United Center, and I would say, wait a minute. Where's half of our damn team? They're gone. Because the really difficult rules of the NHL forced you to get rid of those guys. And so the Blackhawks won 3 in 5 years, but they couldn't go after 3 in a row, really. They had a chance once. And those other teams did too. I mean, the Kings had that chance. The Penguins had chances. The Lightning. And so the NHL, I'm upset that my franchise didn't get the benefit of this. But if you're a fan of the Panthers, and now you're right, they're going to have a shot at building a dynasty when other capable teams with capable management did not.
It's tax codes. You can sign for less money because you get to keep more money in a state like Florida, which is why 30,000 people that try to live there half the year for tax purposes. Let's move to baseball.
Only 30,000.
Last night saw 3 stellar pitching performances. Paul Skeens, 5 innings for the Pirates, allowing no runs, getting no decision in a game Pittsburgh eventually won. Yoshinobu Yamamoto went 7 innings for the Dodgers, allowed 1 run in an easy win for the Dodgers over the White Sox. Jacob deGrom, 6 innings for the Rangers, allowing 2 runs as Texas routed Baltimore. Wilbon, which one would you most want the rest of the way this season?
I love Yamamoto, but it's the White Sox. It's like going against a college team. No, White Sox, no. And the Orioles, I know they're coming on a little bit, but no. Paul Skeens went against the St. Louis Cardinals, okay? And Paul Skeens, until recently, I know the Pirates have won that preposterous 4 games by 7 runs or more, whatever that ridiculous stat is. But they've had like the worst offense in baseball for most of the season. He gets no run support, and Skeens goes out there. And I know it was 88 pitches. It wasn't like, Bob Gibson or Fergie Jenkins going 130 and 9+ innings. But he went out there and he blanked the Cardinals. I will take Paul Skeens anywhere, anytime, and walk into a dark alley and go against anybody. I want Skeens.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're preaching to the choir here because I love Skeens, and I'll get to it in a second. But last week you talked about The Miz and how The Miz beat Paul Skeens, and you indicated to me on the show that Paul Skeens wasn't all that. Okay, so just so we have that on the record.
I just said I'll take The Miz.
Yes, you did. No, you did. You certainly did. You've been junking Paul Skeens for 2 years now, especially when he started the All-Star game, and you said he didn't deserve to do that. I remember. We could look up the tape. Look, all of these pitchers are great, right? They're all great. At the moment, deGrom is what? He's 9-2 and a 2.13 ERA. Went 6 innings at least in his last 6 starts. Yamamoto, 8-6, 2.50 ERA. Retired the last 10 in a row yesterday. The last 10 right in a row. Skeens only has 4 wins. He's 4-7, 2.03 ERA. Like you, give me Skeens. Give him to me this year. Give him to me for the next 10 years. Because in his last 12 starts, you want to talk about getting no support? In his last 12 starts, he has 1 win. He's 1-5, and his ERA is 1.84, and he has 76 strikeouts in 73 innings. He is a great pitcher at the moment on a bad team, a team that's won 5 in a row, but a bad team, and we've seen this before. We saw it with Garrett Cole. Like, the guy gives up nothing and doesn't even get the decision. He's pitching in hard luck right now. Let's take a break.
Real quickly, for the record, I don't like Skeens because he's in my division. He's a great pitcher. What I said is I will take Skeens and Miz every day while I root against them with every fiber of my being. Don't ever say I junk Skeens, because I'll take.
You did.
I'll come out
You
with
did.
money out
You've
of
been
my
doing
own
it for 2
pocket
years.
to pay Skeens to put him in a Cub uniform.
Oh.
Are you crazy?
Fantastic. NIL money for Skeens as well. Let's take a break.
Yes,
Coming up, what's at
NIL.
stake for the 30th birthday Ryan Murphy? Murphy holds the Olympic record in the 100-meter backstroke, which he set in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. Murphy has a total of 9 Olympic swimming medals, including 5 gold medals, 100-meter backstroke, 200-meter backstroke, 4x100 mixed medley relay, and a couple in the 4x100 men's medley relay. The backstroke's a specialized event. There aren't that many medals available to backstrokers. The problem with being an American male swimmer is Michael Phelps. Phelps is bigger than everybody. Phelps has 23 Olympic gold medals.
His shadow looms large. He could be right behind me right now on the golf course, because Phelps is out here in the desert playing golf more often than swimming now, though maybe not right now where it was 116 like 2 days ago.
Happy anniversary, Joe DiMaggio. This is obviously posthumous, but on this day 84 years ago, the Yankee Clipper hit a home run to left field in Yankee Stadium over the head of his hitting rival Ted Williams. That hit gave DiMaggio Major League Baseball's longest single-season hitting streak at 45 games, surpassing the record Wee Willie Keeler set in 1897. Ultimately, DiMaggio hit in 56 straight games, a record that hasn't been challenged since Pete Rose got to 44 in 1978. The closest since Rose was Philadelphia's Jimmy Rollins, getting to 38 over 2005 and 2006.
I know some records have fallen in baseball where records are more important than any other team sport in North America. But, Tony, we're not seeing 56, are we? It's not going to happen.
No. We're not seeing 512 wins, and we're not seeing 57.
No,
we're not.
I'm not seeing that either.
Happy trails. Francisco, compete the Lynx for the WNBA Commissioner's Cup. I know your thoughts.
Yeah, because I'm not 24 years old, and I don't do cups in the middle of the season. Wake me when the playoffs start. The Astros shut down Yordan Alvarez after the slugger suffered a setback with his fractured right hand. Big loss?
Yeah, he's a great hitter. He's only played in 29 games this year. He's a great hitter. They're a good team. He's a great hitter. The Pistons landed former Heat shooter Duncan Robinson. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, Duncan Robinson's a 40% shooter from 3 career, and we don't know what's up with Malik Beasley. So, yes, it's a big deal. Shohei hit his 30th last night. That's significant, isn't it?
He's a great player. We can talk about him and Aaron Judge every single day. Last one,
Yeah.
the Marlins have won 8 in a row. Do I hear 9 from you? Do I hear 9?
No. They're 10.5 still behind Philly. I'm not going to get excited about that streak yet.
We're ahead of the Nats, though. Ugh. We're out of time. Try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, knuckleheads. And now, here's Sports Center.